In this video, I'm going to walk you guys through several models that are meant to try to show you some of the anatomy of the endocrine system. So we start here actually with our sagittal head model. I'm going to zoom in and focus just on this area here from the medial aspect. You'll see that here is the pituitary gland. Just superior, right through here, that's where you'll find the hypothalamus. And then posteriorly here, you'd see the pineal gland. Pituitary, hypothalamus, pineal gland. We want to next move on to our little brain model here. In the brain model, we'll take a look right there at the pituitary gland as it would sit within what's called the cerebral arterial circle of Willis. But I actually want to also zoom in and focus now. You'll see this area kind of in a pink color. This would be the anterior pituitary, but I'm going to actually remove it. And I want to show you what's on the posterior aspect, because I also want to show you that here in yellow, right there, you can see, that would be the posterior pituitary. Now, once again, if we're doing this anatomically, it would all be assembled correctly, at least the model, somewhat like this. You got the anterior pituitary there, taking up most of the mass, so to speak, of the pituitary. And I can't really get a great depiction of it, but if you look very slightly right there, there will be the posterior pituitary. Next up, we have our trachea model, but on the trachea model, what we're actually going to take a look at will be the thyroid gland. You'll see the thyroid gland depicted right here on the model. Notice on the opposing side, it's been dissected away, so you only get half of it here, but this would be the thyroid gland. And I'm actually going to pick this model up. We'll rotate it around, because I want to show you where the parathyroid glands would be. They would be on the back of the thyroid gland, but they're not actually depicted here on the model. So don't look for them on the model, but I'm just showing you that for the sake of trying to get you some depiction of where they would be if they were on the actual model. But so you would find the parathyroid glands here on the back side of the thyroid. Next up, we take a look at our kidney model here. And the kidney model, what we really want to focus on is up here, because this is the adrenal gland, small triangular shaped gland seen on the superficial margin of the kidney. If you look, you'll have the outer adrenal cortex and the deeper adrenal medulla here. We also have our pancreas, kidney, and spleen model here, where we can also see those adrenal glands. Notice as I move in a little bit here, you can see the kidney, which is here. And then this would be the adrenal gland superficially there. And then once again, we'd have the kidney, and then superiorly, once again, the adrenal gland. While I have this model up, I'll take the time to show you a couple of other items which appear on the model list. You'll see the duodenum, which is a section of the small intestine. So the duodenum. And tucked into the duodenum here is the head of the pancreas, usually kind of circular in shape or spherical. The head of the pancreas. Next, from about right here all the way to about right there, this would all be the body of the pancreas. And then you'd have the tail of the pancreas right here. So you got the pancreas, which is one of the glands that you're responsible for knowing from the endocrine system, with its head, body, and also tail. Next up, you got a smaller version of the model, but you can once again see the duodenum here, and then the pancreatic head, the body of the pancreas, along with the tail of the pancreas over here closer to the spleen. Next, we have our female three-dimensional model. And on this model, what you want to pay attention to are going to be the ovaries. There's one ovary there. As we come to the other side, here's another ovary right here. The ovaries responsible for making female hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, and also relaxin and inhibin. Next up, we have our male three-dimensional model, and I'm going to move downward a little bit here. And what we focus on now would be the testes. The testes in the male producing testosterone and also inhibin. You can find those on the male three-dimensional model. And finally, here we have several models. And what we're going to do is take a look at some of the other organs that produce hormones. Not necessarily glands, but just organs. Here on the torso model, we start with the heart, which is right here within the mediastinum. Produces a hormone called atrial natriuretic peptide, ANP for short. Although not depicted on the model, just superiorly or to the heart within the mediastinum, you would find the thymus. Here's the liver. There's the stomach, both of which will be responsible for secreting some hormones. Here, we'd have the heart, which we already mentioned. You see the liver, this area here, all of which would produce some hormones. And then finally, here on our digestive system flatboard, we have the liver, the stomach. Then if you look here, we'd also have the pancreas right through this area here. I'm not going to do the head, body, and tail again. And then this is actually the duodenum, which we mentioned previously as well. So if you follow the list of items in the lab manual, these models should ultimately, in this video, should ultimately show you all of the items that we have available possibly for tagging.